Nobody No Arms is a great exercise for isolating the front half of the drive. It's really good in making sure we get a nice long and flat drive phase, while making sure that all the power we generate through the legs ends up moving the boat forward. Without the right body position in the boat, it's going to be really difficult to produce an effective leg drive. So before you get going with the exercise, have the rower shuffle back so they're sitting on their hamstrings, and then slowly tilt forward. When this is done correctly, you should see the rower be able to keep a nice straight spine while tilting forward from the hips, and this is the same body angle that we want to take the catch with. Once the correct position is established in the boat, we're ready to progress to the movement. Have the rower complete a few flat blade legs only strikes like this, starting off nice and slow. The key to the movement is to make sure that the rower feels like they're pushing on their foot stretcher and not pulling on their handles. As they get more confident, gradually increase the speed of the strikes. It's really important here that we work on a nice strong connection in the core of the body through the abdominal muscles. This is also a really good time to focus on posture and the path that the handles are going to take through the stroke. Have the rower feel like they're sitting up nice and tall with a nice long neck. Also make sure that it feels like the handles are being drawn through the middle of the shins and not high over the knees. When they're comfortable with this, have the rower add a little bit of resistance to the movement by just squaring the blades and placing them in the water. We're looking to replicate the movement exactly as we were doing before, just with the added pressure. The temptation is here to want to pull with the shoulders, but make sure the shoulders stay relaxed and we keep pressing with the feet. Begin the exercise by rowing with the legs only portion of the stroke, keeping the back at catch angle and the arms nice and straight. Begin with very little pressure and have the athlete concentrate on connection. The idea is to keep the upper body and arms nice and still, as all the power generated by pressing on the foot stretcher travels directly through the body and arms to the handle. Keep an eye on posture and have the rower feel like they've got a nice long spine and a nice long neck. Also notice the path that the handles are taking through the middle of the stroke. Have them feel like they're coming through the middle of the shins and not over the knees. Also have a look at the top edge of the blade and notice how it stays just below the water surface. As the rower gets more comfortable with the movement, we can gradually start to add a bit more pressure. Make sure this is done by pressing harder on the feet and not by pulling on the handles. Have the rower feel like they're either driving their hips out towards the bow of the boat or trying to push their feet through the foot stretcher. The goal here is to have the blade grip the water at the catch and then lever the boat past that point. When we get this done right, it should feel as if the rower is standing on the foot stretcher and hanging off the handles, and very little of the rower's body weight will be supported by the seat. The key thing to avoid in this exercise is excessive use of the shoulders like we can see here. Just watch how high the shoulders move up away from the catch in relation to the shoreline in the background. Also notice how deep the blades travel in the water after the catch is taken. Having this in your stroke will end up shortening the stroke, reducing the leg power that's transferred to the handle, and also send the blades really deep into the water. What we're looking for instead is a nice flat stroke like we see here. The shoulders stay nice and quiet and move evenly throughout the stroke, and all the power generated in the legs through the front half of the stroke is transferred through to the handle. So throughout the exercise, ensure there's a strong connection between the legs and the handles by bracing the abdominal muscles. Also make sure that we push on the feet and we don't pull the handles with the shoulders. It's also important to make sure the hands stay nice and low and feel like they come through the middle of the shins and not over the knees. Also looking for that nice hang off the handle feeling that we get by pressing on the foot stretcher.